left jean pocket. All alone, just remember it don't matter how far you are from home. You're somebody's baby, somebody's favorite song to sing, somebody's whole wide world.
No one who is severely handicapped needs to fear that they will get any less who is severely handicapped. In fact, you're going to see an increase that we will get any less who is severely handicapped. We want them to be able to earn more money before losing their benefits. And we're hearing a lot of support in the disabilities community.
This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports. This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports.
Aish Actions Revolutionary Podcast.
Chantal and Gavin.
You have now entered the No Bullshit Zone.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen. How is everyone doing this fine Monday afternoon? I myself am doing pretty damn good, I gotta say. I am doing very well. I had a very productive weekend. I finally have a fan in here, so what do I have? I have a fan, I have AC, I have computer running. The world is a good place at the moment, kind of, sort of. How's everybody doing? Linda, hey, how you doing? And Azalea says, hi, Linda, and everyone else. Hello to you both. Let me know if there's a lot of wind coming through my microphone. I have it on my lapel closest to the... actually, no, it's not. But just let me know if you can hear a lot of wind. I think it should be okay, but we will see. My illustrious co-host should be joining me, I believe, very soon. We will see about that. She is at the moment indisposed. It's been a little bit of a weekend for her, so we'll see how she feels and if she is able to come in. Linda says, I'm doing okay. I always have a lot of appointments. Yeah, right. I mean, that's a never-ending circle these days, Linda. That's just the way it is. So, I hope everybody had a decent weekend. It was hotter than hell in Calgary, I can tell you that. And, but it was okay, you know. I didn't get out much. I've been working on that, on the video to try and get that up and running, and it's coming along. It is coming along. I am through the breakdown, almost through the breakdown, into the last chorus. So, excuse me, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes today. And I was at a physio appointment today. Tomorrow is exercise, though. Exercise through HAHS. Cool. Hey, any exercise is good exercise. I have not been doing mine these days, I can tell you that. I've been a little lazy on that end of things. I don't know why. It's summertime. I should be working out. And now that I'm living downtown, I should be getting out a lot more than I am. But I've been working on so much stuff around here between this podcast, getting you know, the video done, and a lot of those things that I've actually yet to pull the trigger on, you know, just working out and getting out. So I got to do that very soon, so I don't get lazy. What to do? I think, you know, we're going to get into some quite interesting things today. And let me bring that up right here. So we're going to talk a lot about AKG and Serco today. There is a lot to discuss there. How money is moving, you know, the horrific nature of both of these NGOs, and I also have a separate segment that I want to do that is regarding, if I can pull that up, the Green Shield, the new Green Shield deal in Calgary. Yeah, and really just how much, this whole NGO, professional managerial class circle is taking over our lives, not just the lives of the disabled community, but the lives of the middle class and everything else and everywhere else. So I don't have any cigarettes. I forgot to grab out of the freezer. I'm going to have to do that at some point. So before we start that, I think I may just play the video that I did Sunday. I think we're still on to that little deal there regarding, hey Sam, on my way to an appointment, but I got you in my, oh cool. Yeah, go, go, go. Deal with, play that, that video from Friday. What was that girl's name? Y'all remember that whole, why can't Daniel Smith thing? I'm so bad at names. It's amazing how actually not good at names I am. So we're hoping Chantal gets in here momentarily, but for a moment I'm going to play this video. Just I think we can start light and fun and fascistic. So here we go.
Fuck your fascist pancakes, Daddy! We would swallow what you serve. Stack the lies and flip the story. We've got the you deserve. Fuck your fascist pancakes, Daddy! Hear the hungry masses roar. You can feed your friends and billionaires. We're not eating anymore.
Thank you.
Do you like my shirt? Protect trans kids. So I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering about Alberta selling, like, you want to sell Alberta out to billionaires. Like, do you actually think the Epstein class is going to protect you when it all goes down? Wow, that's a lot of unconnected things together, and we are protecting. You are protecting the environment? Sure, so why are you putting through all these data centers without environmental? A lot of unconnected things there.
You're selling us out to AI data centers. You're selling us out to AI. You just went on a separatist podcast. Why are you platforming Berta Proud Dad? I don't care if I use Facebook. Yeah. You platform Berta Proud Dad as separatist. You're a separatist. You're a fucking separatist. You don't care about us. You only care about selling us out for money. Fuck your fascist pancake! You're a fucking fascist! You don't give a shit about any of us! You sold us out to corporations! Don't fucking touch me! Let me fucking go! You fucking fascist! Let me fucking go! Let me go! Let me fucking go! You want your fucking picture? Yeah, put the fucking music on. You guys work for a fucking fascist. Fucking, you want it? Fuck Danielle Smith! Fuck Danielle Smith! You work for a fucking...
Yep, there it is. Michaela Resists is her name, Michaela, anyway. I'm sure her last name isn't Resist, but that's what she goes by. Quite the crazy shit. Yeah, Michaela, Linda, thank you. Yeah, so there it is. Fuck your fascist pancakes. And I think I have to agree with the sentiment, even though I know a pancake itself can't be fascist. I think I get the idea. You know, I'm a smart guy. I think I can figure that out. And yeah, what a moment. And that seems to be the moment we're at right now in our in this epoch in our history. Interestingly enough, I mean, being 60 years old and seeing myself in this place at this moment is something that's actually quite striking and shocking to me. I never thought I would be doing a podcast on the disabled for sure, or even, have started podcasting like 6 years ago. I thought, it was all music, traveling the world, and that was it. But that's not it. And it's quite amazing how you can reinvent yourself when you want to. You don't even have to. Maybe someday I'll share part of my ideology around what I think reinventing yourself means within, your life and within your life's span. But that may be for another day. Regardless, I think for now we are going to get on to today's podcast, and we will all wish Chantal well and hope that she gets on here as soon as she feels good, and if she doesn't, we're with her. We're with her the whole way. She does a lot of work. I mean, come on. It's not like she sits around all day doing nothing. That's for sure. She's busier than anybody in politics, I can tell you that. And cares far more for this community than anybody doing the work, as far as I can tell. No matter what government you're talking about. So, let's get into this today. The 3 things that must be said out loud here today. So the money moves Tuesday, July 28th, 8 days from today. Is that right? 8 days from today? Checks were mailed Friday, July 24th, 4 days ago, not August 1st. Okay. I wonder, what is she, Monday, July 20th. So the money is moving on Tuesday. I don't know, these are Chantal's notes, by the way. I made my own. So that might need her. Anyway, I think the truth that we can state is that they're not going to be sent out, the checks aren't going to be sent out August 1st. They're going to be sent out on the 24th for the 28th. All right? These companies so these companies that we're going to be discussing today, I believe Serco and AKG, Angus Knight Group, like the Dark Knight, do not decide who gets AISH and who gets ADAP. So they do not decide who gets either one of those, okay? Because frankly, excuse me, hasn't that already been decided? I think it has, right? Yeah, so I will take Chantal's part here. Open, so 8 days, and I got the date wrong twice, so that is where we are starting. The rule paid 4 business days before the first of the month. August 1st is a Saturday. So the August payment is Tuesday, July 28th. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Tuesday, next Tuesday, not tomorrow. That's for goddamn sure. Checks go out 6 business days before, which will be late Friday. Or was on Friday. Or will be. Chantal, what the hell are you talking about? So Chantal told the group August 1st. Twice in writing, every source says August. The government says the August benefit period, but the money moves in July and people budget off of what I write. So I think she's putting in a correction there, probably on her own page. Although I'm an admin on her page, I don't monitor it closely enough to know what she's putting out there on a daily basis. But obviously she put something out incorrectly. I believe the date is the 28th we get paid, and that's really what people need to know. Look at the July 28th payment carefully. It is the first one with the changes on it, right? So as far as I know, that will be the one with the 88% if you're hooking up, and it may be less in terms of ADAP payments itself. So, yeah, why does the government say in August if the money moves in July? I suppose that they're talking about August, the August payment. But, you know, once again, right, like, they don't give a shit to use language that is meant for your comfort. They're just going to spew out whatever the hell is on their mind. And obviously they want to frame it in August. So, you know, I think we know better. The payment is July 28th, all right? Just so everybody knows. Okay, so I would ask her certain questions, but she's not here for me to ask, so I'm going to keep going. So the couples rule. What is it? If two people in a household both receive AISH or ADAP, each drops to 88%, no matter which one. Holy shit. Of the full individual amount. Each of you loses 12%. Not the household between you, each. Okay? So, yeah, that would be 12% per individual and 24% for the entire household. That's a kick in the what's it, depending on your gender. It appears on the 28th, July 28th payment. First time anybody's going to see it. The stated reason is shared household expenses. The stated reason is shared household expenses. Well, just because you share household expenses doesn't mean that your medication dropped 12%, right? Or the things that you need as a household dropped 12%, like toothpaste. Not a problem I have, but a problem a lot of people have. Groceries, you know, chocolate milk, you know, try to eat the best you can. None of that stuff dropped 12%. Just your money. Just your money. What? So you can be responsible. We touched on this on Friday as well. And in terms of a government which has wasted your money since the mid-'80s with the Heritage Fund, who the hell are they to tell you how to budget? These fuckers don't know how to budget, and they've proven that for 3 decades, right? 90s, 4 decades. Holy shit. 4 decades. They've proven that they can't run their household, and they're going to tell you how to run yours? Once again, right, we're heating up. We're heating up. One Alberta couple, both on the program, were told their loss would be about $470 a month between them. That number is what they were told, not something we calculated. Okay? So they're not even shy about it. We do not know whether the 12% runs off the AISH rate or the lower ADAP rate, and those two answers differ by roughly $50 as much per household. The province has published no worked example, so we don't even know the answer to that. But ask them in writing for your own August figure, and do it before the 28th if you can. All right? If we calculate live, I don't want to do that live, all right? Because if I'm calculating wrong, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up or depress anybody, and I simply don't want to get it wrong. So call them, get them to do the calculation on what that means for you and your partner specifically, okay? So the examples, so the one bedroom, 2 disabled people share a 1 bedroom, same rent, same groceries, same 2 disabilities. The rule assumes they have by living together. The rule assumes they save by living together. Well, not if you're losing $470 a month. You're not saving that. Neither chose the arrangement for savings, and neither can undo it in 8 days. The only exit, the single way to avoid the reduction is to stop living together. That's what I was going to say. The single way is to go single. That is the offset of the rule. We're not saying it's the intent. It's not the intent. The intent is full austerity down to a form of eugenics, as far as I'm concerned. That is the intent. And nobody's made me feel differently about that. This legislation reeks of those things. Reeks. It doesn't take a rocket fucking scientist to figure that out. In a lot of these households, one partner is doing unpaid care for work for the other. Cutting both incomes makes that arrangement harder to sustain. If it collapses, the cost lands on home care, on emergency rooms, or on continuing care, and all three costs the province more than $233 a month. Okay? So maybe what I should have looked at, although I was doing my own thing, was how much it actually costs the government for somebody to have one night in a hospital, or, you know, I think what is an ambulance ride now? Like over $500 just for an ambulance ride? And so once again, this whole thing is steeped in savings, and they're not saving you anything. They're not saving you a goddamn thing. So what is a couple supposed to do with 8 days' notice? Nothing. You're not supposed to do anything. You can't do anything. So why are we raising it now instead of on the 29th? Because knowing beats being ambushed, I guess. Although, you know, 8 days away and you can't do anything about it, you're kind of going to be ambushed. Does the rule distinguish between a couple who chose to live together and two people who ended up sharing out of necessity? Answer: on the definition, it can reach a relationship a director considers one of interdependence, which means someone else decides. Okay? So I don't know what the hard and fast rule is on this, but I know a lot of ACE recipients have been getting flack, I think Chantal at one point included, for having or living with somebody as a roommate. And, you know, because we live in this age where, you know, the sexes are living together and relating to one another romantically. I guess they have the excuse that you can say, well, I'm not gay, and they can say, well, you know, who's to say you're not, right? And this whole decision is made up or considered by or made by whatever somebody had for lunch. So you hope they had a good fucking lunch that day, right? Because they're the ones ostensibly taking this into their own hands and making the decision of whether they believe you or not, right? That's pretty crazy, man. Is there a version of this rule anywhere that goes the other way, where two disabled people living together can get more support rather than less? Well, that's a good question. Excuse me, but obviously no. Obviously the answer to that is no. So collaborating partner is broader than married. Right, well, of course. It reaches a spouse, an adult interdependent partner, a shared child, and a relationship a director considers one of interdependence. So even one of interdependence, no, man, I mean, you know, we're just friends, but we're living together because we can't fucking, you know, neither one of us can afford to live alone, which in this economy, come on, almost everybody has to do that. It used to be that only one person in the household worked, and then it became that two people in the household had to work, a husband and wife had to work, and now it's becoming that you can't even have an apartment on your own, you got to get a roommate. I mean, the whole economy is collapsing. The entire economy is collapsing, and I don't believe it's just an oops. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe somebody just went, oh my God, I fumbled the ball there. No, it's bigger than that because it's coordinated. All of the efforts are coordinated. So there it is for that. So what else is on the same payment? Child benefit rates recalibrated on the same payment: $300 to first child, $117 to second, $88 to third, $59 to fourth, $30 for each after that. So I guess there's your worth, ladies and gentlemen. There's the worth of a child right there, right? God damn, I was the third child. What's that? I'm worth $88, I guess, a month. The government says this is an increase for about 7,000 families. Say that, okay. I guess that is true, and we're not going to hide anything. So that is an increase, but yet they're still putting a monetary amount on an individual, which would be okay if the government wasn't opaque, because then you can understand what the reasoning is there, why they did it. But this is why you don't live in a democracy, because you can't easily answer those questions. You can't have them easily answered, and there is no discourse between you and the people that serve you. Serve you, right? Remember that. They serve you. They don't feel that way. They feel like they have you under their fucking thumb. That's what they feel like. And that's in part because we've let them get to that point. And that's something we need to change. We need to change it. Okay. Look at your own numbers rather than assuming either way. So take a look at your check and see what's happening there. If it is that you receive the child benefit. All right. The earning exemptions cut and who it really hit. So it's now published, and we held it back for a few weeks until it was published. A single or parent, 350. 8 up single, 700. 8 up with dependent children, 1,100. Either program with a partner, 1,500. Wow. That's I mean, with all of these 3-letter fucking acronyms that we have flying around, they're adding complexity to complexity. It was very simple before, and the middle class weren't going broke off of our backs. It was less than 5 cents for their taxes, in their yearly taxes, to satisfy the total of the H budget. Less than 5 cents. They weren't going broke because of us. There was no reason to change any of this. But of course, complexity means that you're confused. And keeping you confused and keeping you busy and keeping you not looking at where your object of disaffection really lies, which is the government, they do all of these things in which now you have to run in so many different directions, you can't look at your object of disaffection. Right? You can't just merely attack that source of your pain because now there's pain on every side and you're confused as to what side that is and what that looks like and what that acronym is, right? Instead of just getting rid of a shitty government. The H figure was around 1072 before July. And as far as I know, that was it. This is the story nobody covered. People who stayed on AISH were told nothing was changing for them. Their earnings rules were cut anyway by roughly 2/3 with no separate letter about it. So, I mean, you know, my segment is going to be on continued government fuckery to and really in depth when I get to it. But if you just take a look at this on its face, people on AISH were told, or people that were going to stay on AISH were told, nothing will change. There's nothing to see here. Look away. Go on and enjoy your life. You're good. And yet, the amount that you could earn a month went down from $10.72 to $350. This is why people said, well, I want to go on ADAP. I can understand that, but once again, we're rushing up to the second level of hell if AISH, earning exemptions is now the fourth level. So we're still in hell. We're just trying to claw our way back to the second level of it, right? This Dante's Inferno, if you will. So, this is quite astounding that we can directly look at something right now that the government is absolutely, or has absolutely lied on in real time. It's something anybody could look at, the middle class, anybody on AISH or ADAP, anybody could look at it and go, well, they just fucking totally lied. Like, they completely lied to 80,000 people. How can our government do that? Well, only because we let them, really. That's the only real reason. Let me just catch up here. So a working person who stayed on AISH is now worse off on earnings than a working person who moved to ADAP. That is the opposite of what everybody assumed. Right? I guess, I think I've known this for too long now to remember having assumed anything else. But you would make a proper assumption that because you're going to work, you might make less as the exemption, right? But it's actually the other way around. That those people who are deemed not to work, well, you can't work, so you don't need that $10.70 a month, right? That's just glib ignorance on their part and destruction of incentive for individuals and their life and their ability to get ahead. Right? Nobody's screwing the system. Nobody on AISH is screwing the system. If there's any fuckery in any respect, you can bet it's less than 1%, because the highest in any type of program of any kind is 3%. 3% of people would be taking advantage of any system at any given time at its highest percentage. But because we have to go through so many hoops and jump through so many hoops, it's ostensibly less than 1%. And some people would argue less than 0.5%. Nobody's screwing this system. That's bullshit on its face. So let's take an example, all right? Two neighbors, both disabled, both work a few hours a week at the same shop. One stayed on AISH and one moved to ADAP. The one who stayed on AISH keeps $350 of her earnings before it starts being ripped from her hands. The one who moved to ADAP keeps $700 until the end of 2027, when we don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Anything could happen between now and then. That's why we need to remain not only vigilant, but we need to start actioning. We need to start actioning in real time. That's why I'm going to start going to the town halls at City Hall, downtown Calgary. Now that I live 2 blocks away, I'm going to start being a fly on the wall and hopefully a complete fucking hemorrhoid to these people. And I'm going to start to undertake that process here probably in August. Because, going, oh my God, that's so bad is one thing, but actually doing something is, I think, what is necessary now. So, and the individual also has a $200 transition benefit holding her at the AISH rate until 2027, which at that point and anywhere in between, everything could fall apart. It could. We didn't see this coming, man. We didn't see this coming, and it came hard and fast and freaky, right? So I'm not trusting anymore. Not of any in any percentage. As a matter of fact, I'm starting. Whatever any politician says now, I start from a place of skepticism. I do not start with, oh, that sounds good. I start with, what the fuck is behind this? What is motivating this? And my segment goes into explaining a lot of that. I'm going to run this down. So we still do not know the rate at which they claw back earnings above those thresholds. It is not in the regulation. It was deferred to a ministerial order that has not been published yet. Right? They just did this green shield here in Calgary, and they have held the order of that until the end of this year. They're not publishing how much money is going to be spent, who is going to gain money from this. They have not released that, and they're not going to release that. Excuse me, and I'm going to get into that. It's the same thing here, right? You know, it's the same thing with the COVID, you know, that whole COVID expose. What was it? It was 70 years that they had hidden that. JFK assassination, same thing, right? Right? Anything they don't want you to know, they will withhold from you, the public, so that you don't have the opportunity of looking for yourself and making a judgment and a determination about how you feel about that ethically, morally, fiscally, in any respect. Because if you were to do so, you would see the truth for what it is. And you're not allowed to see that. A member told us her worker had a calculator with the formula on it, so the formula exists. It runs inside a government online estimator. It has never been published, right? So they have it, so they can do it behind the scenes, but it's not published for you. It's not published for you. No, nothing good for you. No soup for you. You see? Fuck. Where am I? It has never been published as a number anyone can read, check, or plan against. Excuse me. You cannot appeal a number you were never shown. And that's it. You can never appeal a number you were never shown. Or you can't appeal a number you can't calculate. Right? So they don't want you to know. Because if you did, you would expose it for what it is, and it couldn't stand. This is why we don't live in a democracy. Because information is everything. And if you have information, you will be able to make decisions. Decisions on where you want money spent, on who's trying to screw you, on the money that is being, you know, fallaciously put into the hands through nepotism or, you know, through any other means. But you're not allowed that information. And that should really anger you. I want to go into chat because I want to see what's going on here. Let me just look down. Okay, I am doing okay. Yeah, right. Sam, okay, so we got that. Michaela, yep. Ivy, hi Gavin and chat. Hey Ivy, how the hell are you? I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, always. Azalea says, hi Ivy. Azalea says, this is absolutely draconian. It is a stain on what will one day be our history. Well, it you know, it may, if it's not for us or for somebody else, you know, to pick up the mantle here, Azalea, this may not become history. This might become the way it is. And, you know, it is draconian, and, you know, it's about time we start moving in any possible way or any potential way that we can, right? Because even the word draconian, and I love it because it alludes to Dracula, but even the word draconian is becoming tired, isn't it? I mean, really, because the actions aren't happening in order to stop the draconian acts taking place in our society. And we need to be about that business. That is the business of the people, right? Hi, Nicole. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, sort of. You see me, I guess. And everybody's just saying hello. Pam, hey Pam, how you doing? Good to meet your acquaintance once again. We are USA Next. It looks like American Even Health medication. Well, yeah, and you know, Azalea sent me you know, some things to check out there and some good reading material, and it certainly looks like, you know, the U.S. is doing their own form of draconian austerity now in the U.S. Under the mantle of Azalea. You probably remember the name, I don't. And we're actually looking at getting one of the biggest advocates in the U.S. On the program if we can. And that's one of the reasons I want to talk to Azalea. Anyway, I'm not going to give away any more than that. But are you right, Pam? We are USA Next? Kind of looks like that to me, really. I mean, if you want to project, if you want to move forward, just from the simple optics of separation, and I'm going to get into this more in my segment, it looks like a handoff, really, to me. That's what it looks like, right? Looks like a lateral pass, to me, to the U.S. And, you know, do we want, the question we have to answer is, who do we want to hold our resources? Alberta, Canada, or Washington, D.C.? That's the question we need to answer for ourselves. Right, Olmsted memorandum, yep, something like that. I'm going to look into it a little bit more, Azalea, when I have a little more time. Once again, one of the things I want to talk to you about. And Pam says, yes, you're right. Well, yeah, right. I mean, it just seems like a lateral pass to me, and it's pretty sickening, really. Okay, where the hell am I? I am right here, and you're right there. So September, yeah. Okay, so September 8th, the Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, stops accepting any DTC, disability tax credit, from T2201 printed before 2023. You have to download a fresh one. All right, just so you know. September 30th, the Alberta Energy Rebate Portal closes. Anyone who came onto AISH, ADAP, or income support after July 1st is not auto-enrolled and has to apply themselves. All right, so from July 1st, and certainly from today forward, if you are now on AISH, or you're on ADAP, or you are getting income support, you're not going to get that money just sent to you. You have to apply for it. All right? Just something else you have to do in your otherwise busy life. How the hell are we going to get a job? How the hell are we going to have time to actually work when we have this much shit coming at us on a daily basis, and have to figure this out, and have to call here and have to call there, and we barely have, well, we don't even have the energy to do that. I mean, if they put this on the middle class would fall apart immediately. They wouldn't have the time to do it, right? The double income households, right? 3 kids, right? And you're barely paying the mortgage as it is. If they put these kinds of restrictions and this kind of work into the middle class, next day, fall apart. Okay, so just about the roses, she says, a batch went out in the mail today. All right. I know she's a little bit under the weather, so I hope that remains true. But I guess she's saying that a batch of roses went out. And I think, Pam, you have some coming to you too, right? We have some coming to Calgary, don't we? Very cool, very cool. What they are, remembrance pins for the people in this community has lost without adequate support. It is not merchandise, all right? This is not merch. Number one, because it's free, and number two, because it's sick, and number three, because Chantal and I are not capitalists, and number four, because we just never do such a thing. It's not merch. That's not the merch table. All right, I guess we'll let the artistic class have that now. Not like they sell shit anyway off a table after a gig. Nobody sells anything. As a matter of fact, one of my friend's greatest jokes was when we were on stage, he'd say, "I'd like to play a song off our latest album, which has sold well under 1 million copies." And that's about the size of it, man. Nobody's making money. Nobody's making money. Nobody. And it's not a fundraiser either. We're not asking for money. We don't want money. We want to do this because we feel the necessity of it. We want people like Bruce Johnson, right, to be remembered, and anyone else who is going to fall to this nefarious legislation. That's why we're doing this. It's not for the cash, and we don't want your cash. Keep it. Buy yourself something nice. All right? We don't need it. We don't want it. We want to give to you. I know that's what Chantal wants to do, and that's why this podcast exists, because we want to give something to this community that so much has been taken from. That's it. Free always, and it's free always free. And up to 5 a person. Made and mailed by one person on the same budget as everybody listening. All right, so Chantal is doing this. You know, she's a very fiscally responsible individual, and that's a good thing. Otherwise, she probably couldn't do this. But she's extremely good with the money we all get, and so she's able to do this, and she wants to do this. I know there is something where you can donate if you want on her page, and there was much chagrin about that as far as she was concerned, but somebody begged her to, look, man, like, we want to give back somehow. And outside of that, there is nothing, and we're certainly not going to ask for anything here, ever. So how to ask for them: message the group or email the campaign address with a mailing address, and they will be sent right out to you. Excuse me, they go out as fast as one set of hands can manage, and nobody is at the back of a queue. All right, so that was good. If you're asking, they're coming. All right, just so you know. So yeah, so I've covered what the roses are for, and that's what they're for, and they're beautiful little tiny things, man. But they're, you know, they're really great. I think they'd actually look good on this white shirt, to tell you the truth. One of those, right? Just bam, just a little bit of color, bam, right there. Okay, so all right. Well, we're on to hour 2 in the first hour. I think I'm doing pretty good. Let me go back to the chat. I will say, you know, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe. That is absolutely free and can be done by anyone with opposable thumbs. All right, so if you want to like this, I would like it if you would. And if you can share it, sharing is really good. We're actually Chantal and I are looking overseas at the UK, at Australia, and at other literal countries that have these same types of programs and running the show there, at least putting it up so that people can watch. Because we really feel like, you know, this is a moment. I'm going to be careful about how I move my headphones this week. Ha ha. We are, you know, looking at that because I feel that all classes are coming together now. The working class, the handicapped class, the artistic class, the homeless class. We're all coming together. All of those people who are now starting to freak out at in the middle of the month because they have nothing left and no pot to piss in. I really believe we're starting to come together. I really see that. And so I've reached out to the AFL, the Alberta Federal Labor Union, right? And I want to get one of those guys on here, ladies on here, to discuss what's going on with them, because they're doing a huge push these days in relation, once again, to all the classes of individuals. And I really feel like we are collectivizing, like we are coming together. It's taken more time than I would like to see, but it is happening. And it is a beautiful thing to observe and to project your mind into a short distance future that may look like it has all of us coming together and kicking the shit out of a government that deserves it, right? And getting back some form of Socratic democracy, true democracy, right? I know that word is thrown around and it means nothing, and anybody who thinks that is absolutely correct. But that doesn't mean democracy isn't waiting for us. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's not democracy's fault. It's we've allowed this to happen, and nature itself is saying, "Hey, when are you going to take me back? I'm right here. I'm right here. When are you going to take me? Just right? When you could snatch this pebble from my hand, it would be time for you to leave." Anybody that remembers that, that's democracy right there. Please snatch the pebble. Take it back. It's yours. All right? Yes, Pam, you were born in Canada. And you wear mine. You wear yours, yes. Tiny but powerful. Damn right. Says a lot, that little pink thing. Speaks a lot. Anything else from anybody? Y'all are a little quiet. That's okay. You might be taking this all in. And I'm fine with that. So we're gonna, you know, let's bear down on a little bit of the heaviness today. You know, because I believe that what we're getting into, the contractor record, is going to be a little heavy for us, all right? And by contractor record, I mean the contracts, the contractors that are involved in the oversight regarding this entire transition and everything it means for us. I think it's good that we know this, because you need to know the enemy. And these are not your friends, ladies and gentlemen. This is the enemy. Know the enemy. Know what they look like. Be able to pick them out and have the ammunition you need to fight back. Because I can trust you. They have all their ammunition and all the ammunition they need. So you having your own and putting on the breastplate of righteousness and truth and arming yourself with truth, I mean, is going to be very important. All right. The next stretch deals with, okay, so disclaimer, all right. The next stretch deals with deaths, including in custody. If that is not something you can take today, skip ahead about an hour, if you're not watching live, I guess. Nothing in it affects your file, and there is nothing in it you need to act on. All right, this is just information. Once again, it's called knowing the enemy. All right. What this is and why we did it. Alberta hired 2 companies to run employment services for people on ADAP. AKG Canada. Australian parent holds the North at about $47 million. Serco, the literal military industrial NGO, affiliate of a British company, holds the South at about 51 million. Roughly $98 million effective April 1st. That's when they were granted these glorious contracts. Both are branches of large international groups. So we went and looked at what those groups have done elsewhere. Court records, coroner's findings, ombudsman reports, prison inspections, auditors general, parliamentary inquiries in 5 countries. The result is 25 pages and it's free on the website. I'm not going to read 25 pages today. You know, these are the Reader's Digest version for you. But there is literally 25 pages of this nefariousness on Chantal's page, all right? If you want to read the entire thing. Why does it matter that a company, why does it matter what a company did in Australia? These are Alberta contracts and Alberta staff, aren't they? Just because you're a G7, a G8 country doesn't mean, you know, we got enough people in Canada to handle Canadians. Why would you be outsourcing? Why would you be doing that? And here's the answer. Because every one of those records was public before Alberta signed, and because no Alberta body has published any review of these contracts, the Auditor General is not looking at it. Public Accounts reviewed the ministry in May, and the contracts never came up. Public Accounts reviewed the ministry in May, and these contracts never came up. We could not even read the contract terms because they sit behind a login, behind a firewall. So we have no access to the information that is destroying our lives. Fancy that. First time that's ever happened, right? The 3 things worth knowing about the procurement itself. The posting does not name the program. The solicitation title contains neither ADAP nor the program name. A member of the public searching provincial procurement for the program by name would never find the contracts that run its employment services. Wow. The companies do not deliver the service. They assess you, write an employment plan, case manage, and refer you on to the agencies that already existed before these monolithic structures took over this massive program that is saving Alberta money. They just put 2 massive NGOs over the very same people that used to run ADAP. That's crazy. So how can you say you're saving money except the fact that you can't say that? It can't be said. Anywhere from $100 to $150 million per year more. I already said that on Friday. And if only 30% of people fail under ADAP, the cost of AISH, which was 1.6 to 1.7 billion a year, will rise to 2.3 billion a year. Plus 150 million more. There is zero savings. There is a net loss all across the board. We have to get upset about that. We have to get angry about that. Where am I? A referral layer, has been inserted between a disabled person and the help at $98 million. About 26,800 people are expected through that portal. All right? And, you know, I don't know what is conjured up in your mind, when you think about a portal, but when I think about it, I don't think about anything good. I think about like an event horizon. I think about a black hole. I think about a portal to hell. I don't think about, oh, a portal's such a great thing, because it's always been used so well in our history. No, the gates of heaven are known as the gates of heaven, not the portal to heaven. You see what I'm saying? The contract terms are public but not readable. The template is on the provincial purchasing site behind a free account login. That is callback number 3, public and still not readable. How we did it and why the method matters. Every item is tagged. Adverse finding, no adverse finding, or allegation not upheld. Every item says whether the person was established to be disabled or whether that is unstated. Findings favorable to the companies sit behind findings against them. Findings favorable to the companies sit behind findings against them. 15 things that wouldn't have made the companies look worse are excluded with reasons, right? So yeah, you once again, you think the government's going to talk about what we're talking about today? No, but we're bringing it to you. All right, we're bringing what is publicly available to you. A lot of people aren't going to look into this, but God bless Chantal and that beautiful mind, you know, that cares to do the work that we, even me, you know, are not that susceptible to do, right? Are not that motivated. This is Chantal's work. So, the United Kingdom. Since September 2024, Serco has held a contract worth about 350 million pounds, assessing disabled people's benefit entitlement in southwest England. Just in the southwest. Just in the southwest. You know, you can fit England into Alberta. And for some reason, 350 million pounds, which is equal to twice that in Canadian dollars. Somebody could check. Is only servicing southwest England. England, I think, has about 60, 65 million people in it. That's a lot of money for a very small part of Britain. Where am I? Work capability assessments and personal independence payment assessments. That is the closest thing anywhere to what it has now been contracted to do here. Okay, so work capability assessments and personal independence payment assessments is the only thing that is close to what they're actually engaged in here. So there's a lot of work, it seems to me, like they've never done before. And as we go on, you're going to see just how failed an institution this is. And we found nothing against it. No death, no coroner's findings, no audit findings. We searched the Judiciary's archive, the National Audit Office, the Parliamentary Committee, Hansard, the Specialist Disability Press. Then add the qualifier. Okay. The contract is less than 2 years old, so it may reflect an absence of scrutiny rather than an absence of harm. It's only been 2 years, right? And we know how slow the government is to act on anything, and anything coming from the British people at this point would be like a collection data moment, right? Well, we're not going to act on anything. Let's see how many people die. It's bean counting, right? Right? You put out a faulty part, and then if less people die, if the cost of people dying is less than the cost that it would be to fix the car, you just let people die. All right? Bean counting is what they call it. So these are some of the custody findings. Let me go to the chat real quick here. Pam, did you do your job? Yeah? Just let me know, please. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that there was going to be no more of that. And as you can see right here, propaganda. Not sincerity, not engagement, not, hey, how's it going today? How is everybody? Just a fucknut. All right? And I don't have time for that. Let me go up here because I might have missed some things. Yes, right. This is why we appreciate the palate cleansers. I might just do that in a second. Just waiting in the waiting room for my scheduled 3:30. Packed in a packed clinic, seeing more patients than they have seats for. Alberta healthcare working at its best. It's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, we can be thankful that it's a system. We can be thankful that we're not the fucking U.S. Because I've sat in the U.S. And then I got the bill, and I never went back. But that does nothing to undercut how busy doctors are, how little support there is for them, you know, and they're equally pissed off. This is another class of individual that I think needs to start coming alongside all of the other classes, because they're getting just as screwed as everybody else, and yet somehow they're extremely, I don't know what it is. I don't know what their motive is for not engaging, but they should engage. Absolutely. Standing room only, even if you can't stand. Yeah, well. Azalea, oh no, I'm so sorry. The province can't do anything correctly. Yeah. Right. The concept of a portal feels very final, doesn't it? Doesn't it? This clinic was great before Alberta dissembled healthcare. Yep. If we become United States, it's going to, Pam says, if we become the United States, it's going to hurt every Alberta person, Canadian person. Of course it is, Pam. Other provinces right now are looking at us to take advantage of this complete debacle. And other provinces can't wait to institute this. Why? Because this is their future. This is the future to them. And this cannot be the future to us. Somebody holds the keys to the future, and the question is, if it's a democracy, who holds the keys? Us or them? That's when you know you have real democracy. Because if they hold the keys, this is the direction we're headed. Under anything, Liberal, NDP, UCP, Conservative, anything. Are we going to be the ones that hold the keys to our future? That's the question. Our health care is bad enough, yes, Pam. Sam, maybe if they weren't requiring us to reprove shit, we already proved the doctors would have time to, right? To actually be doctors treating conditions. Half the people in here are waiting for form completions, Jesus. And that doctor's got to be going fucking nuts. I mean, he didn't sign up for this shit either, Sam. You know, he didn't spend 8 years in school to write forms all fucking day. He not all of them. I mean, you know, there's musicians that suck at their instruments, just like there's doctors that suck at being a doctor. Just no different. You know, but I would say that a well-meaning doctor goes to school with the intent on helping people. You know, he wants to be a GP, you know, and his whole time is taking up doing bureaucratic bullshit for government. And that has to be frustrating. I know we're frustrated, but I don't know that the doctor is is the object of our disaffection. I don't think the doctor is that. I really don't. And hopefully they're sincere enough to say that. You know, Sometimes you got to talk to your doctor and just ask them, you know, like, how do you feel about this shit, man? How do you really feel about the fact that you went to school and now you're doing government work? Like, how does that make you feel? A lot of doctors will come back and say, I feel like shit. Mine did. And I've talked to several doctors that have said, yeah, no. Sam, terrible for the doctors and receptionists, even they have to deal with a lot of flack, yeah. Yeah, because people are coming at them, right? Right? They're the front line, and that's what the government does. It offloads what should be levied on them. It offloads that to an attack on a doctor and a receptionist, for God's sakes, right? And of course, the doctor needs to make a living somehow, so shit, I guess I have to fill out forms for the rest of my life. I guess that's what I do, and I have to take the bullshit that really belongs to government. And it does. It belongs to the government, not your neighbor. Not your neighbor. Yeah, Linda, I think the UCP are making it difficult on doctors so that it will take a long time for people to get their applications in. Yeah, why not? Why not make that assumption? There's no good assumption you could make anyway, Linda, right? No. Sam, and the fact the government is basically calling them liars now. Yeah, no, they're not lying when they're being sincere with you, telling you, like my doctor has, no man, this sucks ass. This is so bad, you know, and doctors are leaving this province. And he's being a genuine cat when he's explaining himself. I know that. I know the difference between douchebaggery and sincerity. Most of us do. Right? Because sincerity, comes with a modicum of self-deprecation. And if somebody is willing to be self-deprecating, you know, they're typically, that is a good signal to whether or not they're being sincere. And my doctor has been self-deprecating. You know, saying, I hate this. I fucking hate it. You know, it's terrible. And I know it's dragging my patients down, right? Look at Danielle, right? We got some pancake serving bitch out there, right? And what does she say, right? Is she being self-deprecating? No, she thinks her shit doesn't stink, and yours does. She thinks she's, you know, I watched something and today, I guess it was on Facebook, and it wasn't, I don't even remember what it was about. But when somebody went to interview her, she walked up like this first, like literally like that. Like there was something so fucking special about her that she didn't even have the time to answer the question. It was sickening, man. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been in the music industry my entire life. I know what arrogance looks like. I know what an asshole looks like. I know when somebody is full of themselves, and that's all that was. Sam, and they are saying we can't work. 1 year later, they are questioning the validity, right? It all makes no damn sense for sure. Yeah, no, you're right, Sam, of course. I mean, you know, I don't argue with anybody in this chat because, ladies and gentlemen, you all got the goods. And whatever happened to Bozo there, I guess he's done. Pam, that's why we like you in here, and for your beautiful smiling face, of course. And yeah, Linda, you know, once again, right, like, yeah, taking so long to get applications done that we should never be doing in the first place. A doctor should be doctoring, right? And it's just not that. That's what my whole segment is on. And it's long. We may not get to it today. I may hold it over till tomorrow. Linda, there is going to be a two-tier healthcare system. Yes. The doctors will have to work in both private and public healthcare. I think that starts in September. Yeah. It's got to stop. It's got to stop soon. And I heard that they may call, and I don't know if this is true at all, and maybe I shouldn't even say it, but I've heard that they may call an early election, not the referendum, because the referendum is an election. It's not electing people. It's a referendum. I heard that and I don't know. And once again, what are our fucking options, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, sure, you know, is the NDP maybe going to put us, you know, back into the second level of Dante's Inferno? Maybe, maybe. I'm not convinced, and they haven't really done anything yet. The thing that they need the most, well, they need a complete new ideology. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to talk about it because you can't change, right? You know, this is why, like, marriages that go south, you know, or a partner that goes south, more than likely you will never change that individual if you are in the relationship. The only way you can do it is by getting out of the relationship, and most of the time it dismantles, and that's how I feel about the NDP. They are just as corrupt, and their ideology is not for the people. It is a globalized ideology in which I have no time for, because it is not globalism on our effort. It is, right? I mean, if we're going to be globalized, who's going to hold the keys to that power? The people do. And until the people regain something that even looks like democracy, I don't trust anything to change. I just don't. I just don't. Okay, what am I doing? I think I'm going to do, like Azalea mentioned, I think we need a palate cleanser. God damn it. And I'm going to do that right now. So we'll go back to Chantal's beautiful, beautiful tune. We Are Still Here. Give us a moment to just kind of open up from the chest. Breathe in and out. You know, it's a long one today. I sound like a self-help guru right now. That certainly isn't me, I can tell you that. The song is We Are Still Here. Enjoy.
Are you coming to the steps where the quiet voices rise, where the parents bring the paperwork and the hungry children cry? Are you coming to the steps where the sick are told to wait, where they cut the hands that held us up, then call the damage fate? We are still here. We are still here. Our backs against the wall without fear. We are still here. We stand as one. We'll fight their lies until our work is done. Are you coming for the children who were promised care and time, where the forms replace the helping hands and support becomes a line? Are you coming for the families who have begged and called and tried, while the doors keep closing quietly and the need stays locked inside? We are still here. We are still here. Our backs against the wall without fear. We are still here. We stand as one. We'll fight their lies until our work is done. Don't go quiet. Don't go alone. Let them reap what they have sown. They could never hide their shame. It is they who bear the blame. Are you coming for the sick ones who can't lose another thread, where the medicine, the rights, the care stand between the living and the dead. Are you coming for the renters with the notice on the door, where the check was never enough to live and now they're taking more? We are still here. We are still here. Our backs against the wall without fear. We are still here. We stand as one. We'll fight their lies until our work is done.
How was that, Megan? Was that good? That was good. That was so good. Just a minute, you know, just a, right? And ladies and gentlemen, I am no self-help guru, by the way. Once again, that's just another industrial complex worth billions. That's what friends are for. Good friends. You know, and just so you know, part of today's title is Private Power, Political Cover. And that's really what we're talking about today, is political cover. It's everywhere now, right? The politician is defending this entire move to a professional managerial class, right? Sourcing out everything that the government historically would have taken care of, at least in this country, for us. Now it's becoming the collaboration between government and corporations, the private partner, the public-private partnership, right? And this is what Mussolini himself described as fascism. Okay, now fascism is a broader term, I get it, but this is what Mussolini said. It's the coming together of government and corporations. So if he said it, I think you can kind of believe it, because he's one of the, at least one of the, I don't know, one of the poster children for fascism himself. So I wouldn't disbelieve him when he says something like that. Once again, it's knowing your enemy. It's very simple. All right. As a matter of fact, Christopher Nolan just came out with the Odyssey. It's Matt Damon, but I've heard really, really good things. As a matter of fact, I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it 95. Like critics gave it 93 or 95, and the audience gave it 98. I mean, it sounds like it's good, and I was worried because I just read the Odyssey, well, twice, about 6 months ago, and so I have it in my head what I visualize as the complete Odyssey. But I'm going to go see this. I'm going to go see it. I think it's going to be good. I mean, you know, if the ratings are that high, I'm in. And hopefully I won't waste my money. Azalea says, it's such a gorgeous and powerful song. Yeah. So good, huh? Excuse me. So good. So beautiful. So now that we've got it, I think we can go back to, you know, a little bit more about what I was talking about, all right? Just strap yourselves in, you know, grab, you know, like tea time on Saturdays with Chantal, grab a beverage, whatever you want, and we'll keep going. So the custody findings, all right? A man died in a Serco escort van in March 2024 at a magistrate's court. He had schizophrenia and was unmedicated. The coroner's report went to Serco in February this year. The jury found the first aid training inadequate and the assessment of staff competence inadequate. The crew did not open his cell door for 15 minutes. The coroner put it to the Serco driver that the crew's focus was on anything except getting the man out of his cell, and the driver agreed. The ombudsman separately found that obtaining evidence from Serco is met with delay and obfuscation, and that senior staff refuse to have contact with the family. It records 2 further deaths in Serco transport custody since. A 2012 High Court judgment found a breach of Article 3 where restraints were applied to a hospital inpatient when they were not needed. The line worth reading out. The court held that the contractor is primarily responsible for safeguarding the human rights of the detainees under its control. The court held that the contractor is primarily responsible for safeguarding the human rights of the detainees under its control. The parallel challenge to government policy failed. So the government put the responsibility on the company, not the department. Okay? Which is where it lies, really. 2015, a man with epilepsy and brain damage died in court custody. The jury found failures by police. Serco and the medical examiner contributed to the death. Cell checks were random and none were documented. Serco's own witness accepted the computer's log was a work of fiction. An inspection of one center Serco runs found that 84% of detainees said they had felt depressed and 44% said they had felt harming oneself, and that at least 2 psychotic detainees who were not well enough to be detained were held in separation for extended periods, like solitary, right? Those separation findings were assigned to the Home Office and Center Management jointly, and the health finding went to the Health Trust, not to Serco. Okay. Australia. 2 corrections because they matter here. Serco held the Australian immigration detention contract from 2009 to 24, not to present. It lost the rebid. No shit, huh? Wow, you just can't suck and get away with it, I guess, huh? Offshore detention was never Serco. Manus Island and Nauru were other companies entirely. The deaths people bring up from there are not Serco matters. Okay, and we say that in the document, actually. So just so you know, right? But once again, these are NGOs that don't know you, don't care about you, are getting money, not contracts to help people. They're not, there's no, all there is training on how to cover your ass. You know, don't do anything too bad. But, once again, we didn't offload people from society onto people that don't know you and have no context for your life, right? This is what the tribe used to be. This is what the definite community is all about. I mean, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be jails. That's not what I'm saying necessarily. But there would probably be a lot less people in jail, I'm assuming, if those in which we pay, government NGOs, whatever else you want to add to the list, provided for our necessary well-being and mental health. All right? If our communities were structured in a way in which we felt better, if our fiscal lives were structured in a way that made us feel at ease, right? You know, and laziness be damned, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, even somebody that says, well, you're just lazy. I mean, if that person works as hard as they purport that other people should work, they themselves would be destroyed, right? Even the middle class go, I need a break, man. I need a break. I need to sit here. That's not being lazy. That's taking care of yourself, right? And the world was not established on an 8-hour workday. It was established more or less on a very loose 4-hour a day work day, right? At which you only did things that were compatible with the community, the things that needed to get done. What did you do after that? I don't know. You sat under a tree, ate an apple, and philosophized, right? You played the lyre, right? Did we not move as a society? Of course we did. We got everything done, right? It is the dictates and the mandates of stupid people and a really bad ideology that have us collapsing, that have us part of a mass psychosis within society itself. That's all this is. Oops, going back. So we move on to Australia. Serco held the Australian immigration detention contract. Okay, I went through that. The last 3 bit. And the offshore. Okay. Australia. A man died at a prison Serco operates in New South Wales in June 2022. He was 29. He died about 26 hours after entering custody. His intake record answered the question about physical and intellectual impairment with yes, and recorded seizures from alcohol withdrawal. He had been having seizures since 2018 and had been in hospital for withdrawal within the previous 6 months. The coroner's findings came down on 11th June 2026. Alberta's contract took effect the 1st of April 2026. All right, so the coroner's findings came down on the 11th of June, and they won our contract April 1st. So this landed about 6 weeks after Alberta had already signed for this glorious, glorious NGO monolithic corporation. The manner of death, as the coroner recorded it, that timely and adequate treatment of his alcohol withdrawal could have prevented his death. The care after intake was found wholly inadequate. The evidence was found indicative of systemic complacency and incompetence. I'll read that again. The evidence was found indicative of systemic complacency and incompetence. Indicative of systemic, across the board is what that means. Across the board, complacency and incompetence. I play drums, right? I've recorded over 100 records in my lifetime. And I could never be one of those two things. I was not allowed to be, what are they? Complacent or incompetent, absolutely. I couldn't be complacent because I had to take part in the conversations that we're having about the music itself before it went down on a tape, right? I had to know what I was going to do. I couldn't be complacent. I couldn't be out to lunch and come in and do it. I had to be part of the conversation. I had to be valuable in the conversation. Now, nobody died if I played bad drums, but I certainly wouldn't have got hired back. That's my point. And I couldn't be incompetent. I couldn't go into the drum room behind the drums, put on a set of headphones and go, now how do you do this? What's that? What's that? Is that cymbals? Is that what you call it? I couldn't do it. I couldn't be those things. Why is something that is taking care of the lives of people allowed to be this? I understand nobody dies if you play bad drums. Maybe their eardrums die. I don't know. But that's not my point. My point is complacency and incompetence. All right? The coroner found he was powerless to protect himself and that those charged with housing him failed to provide appropriate care. Why? Obviously, because they were complacent and incompetent. The finding that explains how it happened, the clinical structure created uncertainty and confusion about where responsibilities lay. And no one took ultimate responsibility, resulting in his preventable death. The detail that stays with you, he died in a clinical observation cell. Right? Like necessarily like a hospital bed, in a room that is designated as a clinical observation room. Not just in some, detention cell, like an 8x8, right? And no clinical observations were taken after his intake assessment. Counsel for the family called it a cruel irony, at the very least. 3 recommendations directed at Serco by name, 2 nurses and a doctor referred to their professional regulators. Right? So even these doctors that you think are there to do their job. There was a case in the States not that long ago where they held a guy in restraints for hours and hours, I forget how many hours, and he died. And he died under the care of a physician. Because the physician, and I've seen the CCTV of this, hours upon hours upon hours, 12, 24 hours, and they were joking about him. And he was literally dying. I told you it was going to be a little tough. The nurse who did his reception assessment was a Serco employee, and the coroner exonerated and praised her. Her assessment was found thorough and appropriate. Consulting the doctor was called proactive and demonstrating critical thinking. The coroner rejected the suggestion she needed more information before acting. The adverse finding expressly begins after her work. I'm confused. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little confused. Her inability to record a blood pressure measurement was found to be a limitation of the system, not a failing, and drove recommendations aimed at the health record system rather than at Serco. Her inability to record a blood pressure reading was found to be a limitation of the system. Really? Like, how? The guy's in your care. This dude is literally in your care. He's not in the care of a system at that point. He's in the care of an individual. How could you fail not to take a blood pressure reading? I mean, what is the whole system supposed to go to the detention center? Is that what's supposed to happen? Like, what are you talking about? It makes absolutely no sense. Am I missing something? Somebody help me out here. I feel like I'm being gaslit. The coroner accepted substantial changes since May, including a new default of 2 hourly observations, and noted that if that default had been in place, the death may have been prevented. If we give the harsh half and leave the rest out. One person with the document open takes the whole episode apart. Well, I mean, okay, so we gave you the, you know, the truth of the matter, but I'm trying to figure out where that second half actually matters at all. It doesn't seem to matter. It's, once again, it's gaslighting. It's what? What? That, no. Let me go to the chat. Maybe somebody's helping me out here. Where did I leave off? Oh, I know, I feel terrible for that. Yep. Sam, and the fact that the government is basically calling them... Yeah, and the fact that the government is calling them liars now, Sam, yep. And they are saying we can't work. 1 year later, they are questioning the validity. Yep, I got that. It all makes no damn sense for sure. Oh, so nobody has said anything? It's such a... Oh, okay. Sorry, nobody's... I'm reading notes down to the fact that I've already read them all. I understand, you know, it's a little difficult, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, you have to know your enemy. I mean, if we walk away, you know, if we don't talk about these things, and then we walk around thinking, well, I guess they're not that bad. They've never done any harm before. You know, nobody's ever looked at them. You know, no court has ever. No, they have. The court has, and for good reason. This is not to freak you out at all. This is to give you information in which you can decide, this is not going to be good for my life. I need to fight. I need to fight. All right? That's why it exists. I try to, you know, be half decent at not attaching horrific stories personally, right? Like, don't do that. It's not your story. It's their story, the individual story. What matters is the fact that a system that is necessarily over top of you making decisions on your life has incurred these kinds of inadequacies, shall we say, these litigable moments, shall we say. And I think we need to know that in order to have the ammunition to fight. This is knowing your enemy. It's no more, it's no less. That's what it is. New Zealand. An inspection of a prison Serco operates found that a prisoner with a congenital disorder and limited mobility did not receive a wheelchair to use in his unit for his first week, and that being unable to move contributed to a deterioration in his condition. A second wheelchair user had been bullied by the prisoners he shared a cell with and made to sleep on the top bunk. How do you do that, actually? I mean, he must have had a good upper body strength. The site does not always accurately record with which prisoners have disabilities or the nature of their disability. Why not? You know everything else, right? You have his watch in a manila envelope. Why don't you know that about that individual? You should, shouldn't you? An earlier ombudsman inspection found requests for health or disability related assistance were slow to be actioned, and that 2 wheelchairs were fit for short-term use only and caused the prisoners pain. So you could say, well, these are prisoners, Gavin. They should be treated like shit. Well, you know, if you want to take that argument, somebody could say that about the disabled. It's just the disabled. Should we care about that? You know, you know what I mean? Like, you can make an argument for anything. And treating an inmate like shit is not going to make that inmate any better. The problem with that is that the inmate doesn't stay in jail forever. The inmate is released. And where is the inmate released? To the general public, right? And if you know anything about even Canada's prison system, you know it is not there for rehabilitation. Now, you can say, I don't care, they're horrible, terrible people. And you wouldn't be necessarily wrong in saying that. The problem is that you take violent people and you put them into a more violent context. You lock them away with people that are as or infinitely more violent than they are. They stay there. They learn better how to hate. They learn more excuses for hating. Then you release them out into the community with no money, nowhere to go, can't get a job, and they move in next door to grandma. And then they do another horrific act. We can do better at at a system of incarceration if we're going to do it. Maybe that's controversial to some people, but it really doesn't matter, because at some point that person that you find disgusting is going to hit the street again. And if they hit the street angrier than they were before, with less money than they had, what is the outcome? And you may not care even then, but you might care if you're the person walking next to them at 10 o'clock at night downtown Calgary. At that point, you actually might care. I get it, it's controversial. I'm not saying poor inmate. What I'm saying is that you keep the rest of society secure and safe by teaching people that, you know, that can't work their way through lives in a nonviolent way, how to do so nonviolently. And that is not the system we have. All right? And once again, boy, you guys are quiet today. What, you know, what is it? You can't, I had a shower. Okay, I think I'm wearing a nice shirt. I don't know what it is. Everybody's really quiet today. That's okay. I'll keep going. Yeah, I know it's tough. It's heavy material. I get it. The SAVE report commends the operator on physical accessibility and on at-risk cell practice, and records prisoners with visual impairments and an amputee working in prison industries. Golf claps. Congratulations. Why this? Okay, so everything else in this record is about care, response times, and systems. All right? This one is about a disabled person not being given the equipment he needed to move in a facility that did not reliably record who was disabled. And this is the same or sister company to the one that is taking care of disabled people. So, you know, why would I talk about the disabled to the disabled community? I think you understand why, right? This is not a custody problem. This is a disability services problem. And it is the closest thing in the whole document to the thing our people, us, we, worry about being assessed by an organization that does not track what you need. So, well, I don't need to say anything more about it. It's just so fucking obvious. At another prison, an inspectorate report found that organized prisoner fighting produced serious injuries requiring hospitalization, including broken limbs and brain damage. Cool. And that these were reported to head office by Serco as an accident, or they weren't reported at all. It establishes, so why bring this up? Because it establishes that people in a facility Serco ran sustained brain damage, which is harm that creates lifelong disability, and that qualifying serious assaults were misclassified or unreported. Not underreported. Well, underreported and unreported. It does not establish that those men were disabled beforehand, written that way, right? The other company and our correction, AKG Canada holds the North. We searched 16 official databases, including the full Australian Disability Services Enforcement Registry, all 8. Australian coronial, it's the first time I've said that word, Australian coronial jurisdictions, UK records, court judgments, industrial decisions. We found nothing. No deaths, no sanctions, no banning orders, no contract terminations, no adverse findings, Yeah. Okay. So it looks like you guys in the north are ready to go. I mean, come on, right? Sure, we didn't find anything, but on its face, what is happening to us is a complete injustice to a social society and to democracy itself. So, you know, I guess we in the South maybe have a little more to worry about because, you know, Serco, the literal military complex NGO, is under the South. All right? So maybe it's a good thing I'm wearing this shirt today. It's nice and light, and I can run fast. Okay, so we're back. Nothing much. Linda says I was sick for a bit. Yeah, well, I hope you're feeling a little better, Linda. I hope. So, palate cleanser. Do we need a palate cleanser? I'm going to say, yeah, we do right now. Right about now. What does Megan say? What do you all say? Palate cleanser? Oui or no? Huh? Spasiba or niet? What do we say? Go for it. All right. Oh, hey, you're here. Hey, you. Were you knocking on the door to get it? No, it's, you know. All right. Go for it. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm doing it. Laying in bed. That's okay. You take the day off. All right. You got the day off. All right. Lay down. Have a rest. I am handling it myself, and it's fun. I mean, you know how much I love this chat. Best chat in the business. Come on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do song number 2, which is Can You Hear Us? Now, this is the one that I'm working on the video for at the moment, and I am at the breakdown, almost at the end of the breakdown, into the last chorus. Oh my God, I'm excited. But it's a lot of work, and some of the tools that I'm using are a little, they're not behaving, let's say, all right? And I need them to behave. I need them to listen to the director, and they're not listening to me. I need them to get their shit together. But regardless, this is the song in its current form with an overlay, and please enjoy.
Alberta! Isn't listening! Ontario! Can you hear us? Canada! Can you hear us? Canada! Can you hear us screaming? Hey! We are buried under rent. We are rationing our food. We are choosing heat or medicine and calling that a mood. They told us help was coming, then counted every dime. Now the poorest are poorer and they're running out of time. This is not a province problem when Canadians disappear. This is not a budget issue when people live in fear. Canada, can you hear us screaming? Canada, can you see us now? The impoverished are worse off now, and we need you to step in now. Canada, can you hear us screaming? Canada, this is your line. We are Canadian people, and it is time to act now. We filled out all the forms. We waited on the phone. We told them we were drowning. They said, try again alone. We followed every process. We gave them every name. You cannot study poverty while poverty kills. Canada, can you hear us screaming? Canada, can you see us now? The impoverished are worse off now, and we need you to step in now. Canada, can you hear us screaming? Canada, this is your line. We are Canadian people, and it is time to act now. Step in for the disabled. Step in for the poor. Step in for the people who cannot take much more. Step in for the families. Step in for the scared. Step in for the hungry who are told nobody cared. We are Canadian. Time to step in. We are Canadian. Time to step in. We are Canadian. Time to step in. Step in, Canada. Can you hear us screaming? Canada, can you see us now? The impoverished are worse off now, and we need you to step in now. Canada, can you hear us screaming? Canada, this is your line. We are Canadian people, and it is time to act now. Hey! This is not charity. This is not pity. This is not pity. This is survival. This is duty. Canada! Can you hear us, Canada? Can you hear us, Canada? Step in now!
There it is. Great tune. Great song. Love that tune. An anthem to be sure. Step in now, Canada. What are we doing? Give it up. Come on. We need you. We need all of you. Such a great tune. Such a great tune. Step in now is right. And muted was correct. And amen, says Azalea. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Canada. It's time to get our shit together, ain't it? Ain't it? If not now, when? Yeah, I mean, when you see my rendition of this video, Linda, you will see that that what stepping in Canada means is us. Canada is us. Canada is its people, right? You know, we can discuss who's Canada later. But right now it belongs to all well-meaning Canadians. I can tell you that. Indigenous, Ukrainian, Scottish, Irish, Iranian, Israeli. This is our Canada. This is us. It's going to be us that steps in. It's going to be us that takes it over. Why? Because true Socratic democracy is in the hands of the people, not government. Government does the will of the people. It does our will. It does what we want them to do. That's why we're not a democracy, because it's not in our hands. And when we're saying, Canada, can you hear us? We're saying two things. We're saying, number one, do you hear us, politicians? Do you hear us screaming at you? At you. And the other thing is a call to action for all of us, right? Those two things. Can you hear us screaming? Can we get together? Can we do this together? That's what we're asking when we talk about Canada. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, Canada. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, Labrador, Ontario, the territories, all of us, the West. Can we get together? Can we finally decide on something simple? Like, what? Like, death is preferable to life, or life is preferable to death, right? That rejoicing is preferable to suffering. Very simple things. Very simple social contracts, right? Not do we need the U.S., right? Not what's happening with Donald Trump, but focus on us. Focus just on us. Where are we going as a nation? What do we want? What do the people want? That's the point we're trying to make. And that's what this song does so well. Can we hear each other screaming? And do the politicians hear that their jobs and their days in office are numbered? That's what it is to me. That's what makes a powerful democracy. Amen? Anybody? I can't be alone here. I know y'all, somebody out there feels like. Somebody wants to say an amen. Thank you, Chantal. What is that? It's a box with a cat coming out. I guess that's amen. Yes, I agree. Yeah, Linda. You know, I mean, it's about us. That's what this song does so well, Chantal. Right? Do we hear each other? Do we hear the pain we're in? Do we hear the struggle of every class? And does the politician yet hear us loud enough? That's the question. And only we can answer that. They're not going to answer it for us. We're going to have to answer it for them. Very simple, very easy. So I move on. Did I get that correct? Okay, the litigation, because someone will ask. 13 judgments involving the acquired companies were read in full. Not one adverse finding against any of them. The most substantial was a 4-day trial where claims of assault, negligence, and defamation were all dismissed on the merits. The court found the alleged assault was either a figment of the plaintiff's imagination or a fabrication, and that staff dealt with him with respect and appropriately in accordance with their professional duties. I think we're talking about AKG here, Chantal? Not Serco and AKG? All of it predates the acquisition anyway, so any findings would have it attached to the previous owner. Okay. I think we're talking about AKG. Your humor is sick too. Am I right about that though? We're talking about AKG when we're talking about what I just read specifically, right? Right? I think. The finding that should shape when people ask their MLA. The finding that should shape what people ask their MLA. Your public servant. Don't forget that. The abatement finding. Not a death, a contract mechanism. And it is the most useful thing in the whole document. In Australia, in Serco's final 3 months, the financial penalties in the contract could no longer be applied. Then there was a grace period for the incoming company. Australia's own national monitoring body found that for about 6 months, the regulator was largely powerless to enforce many standards and that conditions dramatically deteriorated in that time. They're finding they're finding the failures resulted in people being unable to access appropriate health services. Staff told the monitors the company appeared disinterested in upholding service standards. Well, that's the first time in history a company's ever felt that way. But they were what? Disinterested? I've never felt that in my life. I mean, every time I go into Walmart, everybody's so friendly, aren't they? Right? Every time I walk into a government building or police station, people are running out to greet me with open arms. Right? Staff told the monitors the company appeared disinterested. The company's response is annexed to the report. It accepts some observations and expressly does not accept others. Okay. The example that makes it land. The example that makes it land. A contract with penalties in it behaves one way. The same contract with the penalties switched off behaves a different way. Within months, with the same company, the staff, same staff, and the same building. Okay? So yeah, just shut off those. And this is something, ladies and gentlemen, whether we come to this moment in this epoch or not, if we strip, we've already stripped the government of liability, goddammit. If we start stripping companies of liabilities, this is what you get. Okay? Once those mechanisms are shut off, they can pretty much do what they want and treat you the way that they want. And that's where you slide, that's where you end up when democracy fails. And we have a failed democracy. Okay? So where do you go? Democracy precedes tyranny. Okay? So in this case, democracy has failed. And that means democratic parties have failed. And because they have failed, you get closer to tyranny every failure that is preceded by a liberal class. Okay? This is where we're headed. And we don't want that. I don't think, right? So, once again, Canada, can you hear us? Can you see us now? Can you see us yet? So, where am I? The example, nothing about this has changed. So, nothing about the people changed, the enforcement changed. Which is why what is in Alberta's contract is not paperwork. What audit rights are in it? You ask your MLA. What penalties are in it? You ask your MLA. What has to be reported publicly? You ask your MLA. Who checks and how often? Is the question to the MLA. What happens if performance fails? You ask the MLA. We cannot answer one of these because the template is behind a login and we have not pulled it yet. That is the next thing we do. All right? So that's coming. That's coming. Once again, this is a part of democracy, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge, knowing what is going on. There is no such thing as behind the scenes. Everything is out in the open for the polis, the people, the proletariat, to access, engage in, and we just changed the FLOIP in Canada to, Chantal, please tell the chat what that is. I forget the name of it, but it is a weaker system limiting your rights and access to information. FLOIP is gone. This new thing started, I believe, in 25 or 24. Chantal, if you're still there. Okay, let me go back, and then I will go. So the second finding, and it's about employment services specifically. In December 2025, Australia's ombudsman published an investigation into oversight of decisions made by employment service providers affecting job seekers. 985 unlawful cancellation decisions affecting 964 people over about 2 years. Cancellation means losing 4 weeks of income support and having to reapply. First Nations people were 46% of those unlawfully canceled against a 16% share of the caseload. 24% of those affected had recorded vulnerability indicators, including psychiatric problems or mental illness, and illness requiring frequent treatment. 4 of the 8 findings go to contractor oversight. Provider decisions are overturned at a high rate. Automatic suspensions undermine a person's capacity to engage. The department's assessment of provider performance lacks transparency, and enforcement against providers does not match the rate at which their decisions are overturned. So once again, we're talking about access, we're talking about transparency, we're talking about you being able to be in control of your life and ask the very questions that need to be answered. And you're not getting that. Let me go to the chat. I think I might have seen something here. I'm just going to read down the chat real quick. I'm in this like a cat sits in a box. Sorry, my humor is sick too. No, I get it now that you explained it. I get it. It sounds like AKG will be emotionally and mentally abusive. That will make more depressed than I'll make me more depressed. Linda says, yeah, the entire thing is making us more depressed. You know, this entire thing, Linda, and this is where you are not unlike ostensibly 30,000 people. We are all feeling the type of stress that leads to depression. Maybe I shouldn't speak for everyone. I'm sure some people feel differently. But it would be altogether too rational to believe that at this moment we're all feeling a certain way. You know, AKG, see, AKG is the parent. So if you have a good parent, you typically have decent kids, right? Not that your kids don't go through a span in which they need to learn and everything else. But because the parent is there saying, you don't do that, you do this, don't, you know, don't you do it, you move over here and you do this. If that's the kind of parent you have, the one that praises you when you do well and corrects you when you do wrong, usually your kids turn out all right. And this is the problem that we can incur with a parent company to the children who do the work, right? And that all is top down. So what they are as a company at the head is what becomes the rest of the body, whether it's infected, whether it's dysfunctional, or whether it all works in the way we would assume it is intended. Yet still, and I'll say this, NGOs and the professional military professional managerial class, are in no way the best that a society can do. They're just not. Even in a society as grand or as large as the one we have. All right? Why? Because it is not neighborly. Why? Because it does not know you. All right? Your neighbor knows you. Your neighbor knows what you want. Government is only there in so much that it gets the job done that you need done. And if it needs a few people to take care of it, to take care of what it cannot, that's one thing. But to overload an entire system, with NGOs in a PMC class or a PMC is not the best we could do as a society. So it does hurt because we're not being taken care of properly, even if these were good. Even if they were good. Pam says, hope you're all doing well. Well, thank you, Pam. I kind of am. I appreciate that very much. Linda, I have had diabetes for 20 years. It worked on my stomach right away. Ozempic makes it worse. Yeah, no shit. But both my parents had diabetes. Both died before they could retire. Wow. Gotcha. I think I'll be stress eating later. You know, hold on to it, right? You know, this is the truth of the matter, if you will. It is not fear mongering. It is not, you know, I'm not attempting to make you feel sad. I am believing and I am respecting the adult nature of everyone in this room right now, that we can hold these things and that they will not necessarily destroy us. Why? Because we have the strength, either individually or collectively. We all know what we mean to each other. All right? And Azalea says again, although this makes me feel almost nauseated if I think about it too much. Yes, that's why the disclaimer, and that's why we love you, everybody here, and we all feel for each other at the moment. This is the problem with not having true community. This is pseudo. Whatever exists here is pseudo until someone reaches out, until someone puts their hand on your shoulder and says, you know, I'm with you. I'm right here. I love you. Nothing's going to happen to you. We're in this together, right? David A. Smith says, Gavin, please have administrative public policy lawyers teach disabled Albertans how to prevent themselves from being used by parasites. Because whining about anything doesn't benefit, okay, I just don't know why the question mark at the whining about anything doesn't benefit any disabled. Well, you know what? I'm going to agree and I'm going to disagree, David. I will agree with you that ultimately whining does nothing. Ultimately. Doesn't mean you can't whine. Doesn't mean whining isn't cathartic. It means that if all you do is whine, you're probably not going to get very far. So I agree with you there, Dave, to begin with. But I want to put a little bit of a correction there because, you know, people need to get out of them what they're feeling. I did my kids a bad disservice by telling them how to feel when they grew up. They corrected me on that, and I changed the way I operate. What they were saying is, allow me to feel, Dad. Allow me the respect to feel what I need to feel in the moment. They're pretty good kids. They're pretty good kids. And I think part of it is because that. I allowed them to express themselves and their emotions. And as long as it wasn't detrimental, and as long as it wasn't carried beyond what is, you know, natural for the current situation, right? Whatever they were dealing with. But I think it's okay to whine. Now, the rest of it. Please have administrative public law lawyers teach disabled. Well, Dave, I don't know that I can have administrative public lawyers do that. I run a podcast. Chantal and I can definitely look into what that may mean in pragmatic terms, but not in anything. I mean, I'm a drummer, man. I tend to know something about something. I have a podcast in which I love to do. I love to disseminate information. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have administrative public law lawyers teach disabled Albertans how to prevent themselves from being used by parasites. I will say, though, without the legal aspect of it, understanding your self-worth goes a long way to not being treated badly, okay? So once you realize that you are as good as the person treating you badly, you may actually just stop that behavior, at least to some degree. And I can also say, Dave, and maybe I should say, because whining about anything doesn't benefit any disabled, Chantal has so many actionable things on her Facebook page and her website that people can action at any moment. So if there is something that someone decides I need to action instead of just bitch, and you can bitch, go ahead. I do. But if you want to action it, everything is there to do it. Everything. So you can do it. The parasitical aspect, at least the way I see it, is not so much a lawyer telling me about parasites. It is, and I think, you know, I'm describing that today. You will stop being treated like a parasite when you realize that the person telling you or instructing you that you are less than them, you get an understanding of who you really are and what you mean to the world. That the person telling you you suck themselves suck because nobody good would ever tell you you suck. You see what I mean? So as soon as somebody says, oh, Gavin, yeah, you suck, I go, well, you know, obviously we both do. Okay? So if you're right, so am I. Because you suck too, man. You suck too. Because no well-meaning person would ever say that. So now that we're on equal footing, let's go from there. All right? So, of course, everything these days, well, not everything, but there is a parasitical element so much to NGOs and corporations, right? Just sucking off the bank accounts of the middle class and the tax base and, you know, a government that that ostensibly could make something from the deal, the art of the deal, right? So I think that goes some way to describing, number one, how not to be treated like a parasite. Just remind yourself that whoever is coming against you right now, if they're coming against you disingenuously, we know that if anybody, we have a good friend, okay? Chantal comes to me and she says, you know, Gavin, I have something to talk to you about, you know. Go ahead. Well, you know, the way that you know, sometimes it makes me feel this way. Really? Yeah. Well, describe that to me a little more, right? And we get into this conversation. That's genuine. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful back and forth between people. If somebody comes to you and they go, you suck, man, well, immediately you know that guy or that girl suck. Because nobody, that's disingenuous. You don't come to an individual like that. Or, what's your problem, man? Or, you know, and then they make some kind of shitty joke and they go, what, you can't take a joke? You know, these are all gaslighting techniques, and they just shouldn't, you should be able to ascertain them and have the intestinal fortitude to immediately say, you know, fuck you, I'm moving on. I don't hate you, because I don't hate anyone. But I don't need you in my geography, all right? I don't need you in my space, right? Now, maybe I just got away from the whole thing, but I don't know. Let me know, Dave, if you're still in here. I mean, what, you in and out? I'd love to know what you think. I wish I could stress eat, says Linda. I have lost 24 pounds in 2 months because this Ozempic will not let me eat. Yeah, I don't know about Ozempic. I'm not a doctor, all right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. I'm not. All right? If you want that kind of advice, go somewhere. But I've not heard great things about Ozempic. I'm so sorry, says Azalea. I wouldn't have honestly posted that comment if I had seen yours first. No, 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 no. I mean, you don't know. How can you know? You can't know. And you say, and then you feel, right? And you just feel. And that's, we feel for Linda. I mean, who doesn't? Linda, we love you. And Azalea, we love you. That's okay. It is not your fault. My son and friends eat delicious food in front of me, and I don't mind. You handle the situation with grace. I respect that, yeah. My son, Linda says, ate Doritos Sweet Chili Heat. Oh, come on. Now you're just doing it to me. Come on. And drank Coke. I was craving both, but I stay away from it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, some things aren't good for you. I'll tell you what, I think I'm starting to feel the effects of this, you know, now that I'm in my 60s. It has a more medicinal taste, and it's not what it used to be. And I feel like my blood sugar is like, you know what I mean? It's dancing the salsa, you know, it's doing the tango with me these days. So I gotta, you know, I might, geez, it's been 60 years I've been digging on this. LOL says Linda. Okay, going back to my notes. Let's see where we're at. This report does not name AKG, JobFind, or Max. No adverse findings attached to any of them. It is a finding about a system, not about a company. What it establishes is that the framework their Australian operations work inside has been found by a national oversight body to produce unlawful outcomes at scale, falling hardest on First Nations people and people with psychiatric and chronic health conditions, with provider performance assessment found to lack transparency. What it establishes is that the framework their Australian operations work inside has been found by a national oversight body to produce unlawful outcomes at scale, falling hardest first on First Nations, people and people with psychiatric and chronic health conditions. Well, isn't that enough? I mean, okay. Is it enough then to say that the system in which they operate in is the system that causes austerity, pain, and collapse? And that's enough, right? I think so. It's enough for me. You know? You know, it's like saying, well, Fred doesn't do that, but people like Fred. Yeah, okay. Alberta has now built a work expectation system for disability income recipients, delivered by private providers, in which the placement decision cannot be appealed. That is the comparison. It is a comparison of systems, not companies. Sure. Sure. It's not Fred, it's people like Fred. Gavin, the money in the fund. Gavin, that's me. 98 million over 5 years, and the companies refer rather than deliver. 98 million over 5 years, and the companies refer. Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't we all want a job like that? Where somebody comes up to you and they ask you a question, you say, I don't know, but go ask that guy over there, but I'll take the money, thanks. Meanwhile, the earning exemption for people who stayed on ACE went from about 1070 to 350. Yeah, I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna bitch just a little bit. The Savings Fund annual report is normally out in late June and is roughly 3 weeks late, with no notice. They haven't even, well, somehow we found out that it's late, but I don't know if they published, excuse me, that, you know, prolifically. Excuse me, the newest public figure is 31.9 billion from December. The savings fund meaning the heritage fund. The report that is late is also the document that would settle whether new deposits were halted. But it's late, and that's not anybody's fault. It just happens. Come on! So the thing we cannot check is the thing the missing document would answer. Surprise, surprise. What we left out and how to check us. 15 items excluded with reasons in the document. Deaths at Manus Island and Nauru, different companies entirely. A 2017 abuse inquiry at a detention center. That was the previous operator, and Serco took over 3 years later. A widely quoted multi-billion pound pandemic contract figure, the parliamentary report everyone cites does not name Serco once, and a fact-checking organization rated the claim partly false. A United States case people bring up, decided in the company's favor. A case listed under human rights involving one of the acquired companies. It is an age discrimination case, and disability is not raised anywhere in it. We listed them instead of dropping them quietly. We listed them instead of dropping them quietly. Why? Because you are entitled to know we made those choices on purpose. Chantal, are you in? What we are still chasing, the Alberta contract template behind the login, highest value thing on the list. The clawback rate on earnings, still unpublished. Whether the reassessment window really is open-ended. Formal requests going to 3 overseas registries for findings we could not obtain. The Heritage Fund annual report, whenever it appears. If you guys, know any of this, send it to us. We'll put it out and we'll put it up. As a matter of fact, 2 of the best things in this document came from members. All right, once again, I got to go back to the chat because I got to tell you guys this. You're amazing. You're amazing. You guys do work on your own that, Chantal, being one person, can only do so much, and you do so much. If I was going to list, anything, right now we're looking for a little bit of help. Number one, I'll say this, and don't be offended or upset if you don't do these things or they're not in your wheelhouse. I'm just going to put it out there, and I'm going to put it on the page too, as well. But cutting down our episodes into smaller bits and pieces so that we can get them out on smaller platforms like the whatever's, I can't think of all the platforms, ladies and gentlemen, would be of a huge benefit to us. I'm doing a lot of editing myself right now, a lot of work hosting this podcast. And so if there's anyone out there that would like to engage in that, man, I will gladly send that to you. So think about that. There's also, contacting people, I think, to come on the show would be another thing that we would really like, people out there to do. If that's your wheelhouse, you go, no, man, I've still got opposable thumbs. I can't, I don't go out. I can't, drive a race car, but I can, definitely make some calls, do some emails to maybe get some potential people on the podcast. We would be looking at that too. Absolutely. Because we want to bring more information and we want people to be engaged, right? The one thing I think, especially churches and even these new agey shit things, out there, well, religion in particular, they don't engage. Like, what is your strength? What do you want to do? Because here, I just feel like if somebody has a strength and they want to do something, go ahead. I think if anything rises to the level of leadership. I know one of the greatest things about leadership is knowing how to delegate, knowing that you can't do everything and you shouldn't be doing it alone. You're not an island. And other people out there are ready and willing to jump at something. Not, everything, and they shouldn't. But if you can, those two things, cutting the videos down into smaller bits and bulbs, and contacting people, to come on the podcast, that kind of thing, would be of a huge value to us. So I put that out there. And I leave it there. But I will say, like, share, and subscribe if you can. I think that's something we can all undertake, and it's beautiful. But those other two things absolutely stand. So, Tuesday, July 28th. Look at your payment. If you are a couple, ask for your figure in writing before then. All right? In writing. Voucher. All right? Repeat, these companies do not decide who gets AISH and who gets ADAP. That sits with the medical review panel and government adjudications. Reassessment. If you are on ADAP and thinking about it, don't wait, I guess. The government, if you want to do it, right? The government page says the covered medical assessment is not time limited. Some reporting says the window closes at the end of 2027. We are chasing which one is right at the moment, all right? Because once again, if there's anything this government's good at, it's ambiguity. And they know exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. Scrutiny, starting early costs nothing either way. Callback number 4. I don't know what that means. Ask in writing. Alberta supports 1-877-644-9992. Okay? Everything is free on the website. Everything is free on the website. Everything is beautiful in its own way. Sorry, I had to do that. Everything is free on the website. The document, the worksheets, all of it. 988 or the Alberta Mental Health Helpline at 1-877-303-2642. If today landed heavy, right? And, even if you need to reach out to one of us, you can do that. I think Chantal's a little under the weather, and I think, probably, let her be for today. There's always tomorrow. But, we care about y'all, we're all caring for everybody here. Everybody cares for everybody. So reach out to somebody if you're feeling like you need to. Phone a friend, use a 50-50. We have to take care of ourselves in this moment. We really do. The roses, wear it will be seen, and tell people why, right? I still think it would look good, like right there. Bam! I think it would look great there. And people will ask, why? What is that? What does that mean? Right? You're in a lineup at Safeway, right? And you can tell the story of how 80,000 people in Alberta are getting screwed. You can tell them about how much money they have lost since the mid-'80s from their government stealing the Heritage Fund, or misappropriating it, or not using it in the way in which it was intended or correctly. It would stand anywhere probably from $300,000 to $350,000 since the mid-'80s per person in Alberta. Per person in Alberta. So, I don't think, boom, bam, that about satisfies it. Let me go back to the chat real quick, and we'll clean it up for today. You guys have been beautiful. I really appreciate you listening to me yak, for a couple hours. You're beautiful for that, and I hope I gave you something. I hope there was, something in this for everyone, in which there usually is. Tomorrow, I believe I'm going to talk in regards to what I wanted to discuss today. But we've been on, probably 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. Almost 3 hours. Wow. So, let me go to the chat. LOL, says Linda. Probably just to the thing I was joking about. Pam says, yeah. Yeah, right back at you. Ivy, where's Miss Chantal? She's a little under the weather today, so we're, we're giving her space, we're giving her room. She jumped into the chat for a minute, and then jumped back out. All right? She's just not, feeling it today, and of course I want to give her all the space in the world, she does this out of the goodness of her heart, so I want to respect that, and we can all just send some positive vibes her way, right? Ivy says, "Oh, perfect timing. Hope she feels better soon." Yeah, healing, sending healing, love, and healing and love, Chantal. Amen. Thanks, Ivy. Thank you. Pam, it will look great on your shirt, right? Yeah, I think it would. There. Right there. And Pam says, God bless you, Chantal. God bless you, Chantal, and Gavin, and everyone. Thank you, Pam. That's always nice to hear. Well, if I may, today was good, and I think we got some good things covered. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be, it's not going to be this kind of heavy. It's going to be really understanding why your government doesn't like you, why they don't care about you, what you can, what to be aware of when it comes to the systems of governance we currently possess and we have to live in amongst the flotsam and jetsam of this type of government, and mostly every type of government. So until tomorrow, be safe, be well, treat yourselves well, treat each other well, and most importantly, correct!